Many times on here I have shared my God stories with you all, and I have shared um, what it looked like in the battle for my marriage to be restored, for my prodigal children to return back to God. And they've all been the good stories. So today I want to share with you a story of how raw it is, of how painful it is, and how God is not only working on your prodigal spouse when you're praying, but he's also working on you. So here we go. Now, I want to put it out here as a disclaimer that me and my husband, we have a wonderful marriage. Before I tell this story, we have been restored for over 3 years, and it is actually better than what I ever prayed for. But there was some dark times while I was standing believing God to restore my marriage. So one day I get a phone call, and I'll never forget it. It was January 1st. And I get a phone call from a woman that we went to church with. And she said, "Hey," she said, "can you come over to the house today?" They basically tricked me to get me over there. But she said, "Can you come over to the house today? My daughter sells jewelry, and we want to show you this." And so, out of a good heart to, you know, help them and try to buy some jewelry from her, I went. Well, my husband immediately knew. I didn't know, but he immediately knew what it was about. And so I get over there. Long story short, it had nothing to do with jewelry. They were, her and her daughter was there to tell me that my husband had been messaging her daughter, which was a grown woman. Okay. I don't want you to think it was a child or anything, but was a grown woman, I think 28, 29 at the time. And he had been messaging her inappropriately. Now, we went to church with these people, okay? I was so devastated. I was so humiliated. And I remember getting in the car that day so angry because we were about a year into the battle, all right? And my battle lasted 7 years before my husband got completely delivered and restored. 7 years. I prayed for him. Anyway, I get in the car. I'm so mad. Oh, I'm so mad. I'm so hurt. And I remember just grabbing that steering wheel and just screaming to God, "Why is this happening?" And I remember when I pulled into the driveway, I still had my hands clenched on that steering wheel. And I said, "What do you want me to do?" And the Spirit of God spoke back and said to me, "I want you to go in there and cook him that meal you promised him." See, it was New Year's, and my husband always has this meal that his mom and grandma made him, and so every year I cook it for him. And so I had told him, I was going to cook him this meal on New Year's Day. I could not believe what I was hearing from the Lord. "You want me to go cook him a meal? I am a righteous woman, Lord. I love you. I live for you. I'm standing in the gap, praying for this man, and this is what he continues to do. You want me to cook for him?" He said, "Yes, I do." So I went in, and he was watching football in the bedroom, and he was laying on the bed. And he instantly knew. He knew why they had called me over there. And I didn't say a word. I walked in the bedroom, and I said, "One way or the other, you will get delivered from this." And he started telling me, blaming it on me. You know how they do. Those spirits operate. So I walked out of the bedroom. I wasn't going to fight and argue with him. I walked out of the bedroom and went into the kitchen, and I began to cook the meal. About an hour later, he came out, and he looked at me and he said, with attitude, he said, "What are you doing?" And I said, cooking you the meal that I promised you. He said, why? Now, everything in me and my flesh wanted to tell him, because I fear the Lord and I trust the Lord, but what I really want to do is throw this pot of beans on you. But this is what come out of my mouth, because I love you. And I'm committed to seeing you delivered. My love is not contingent on the way you love me back. And at that moment, he broke and he began to cry. And he said, Shauna, let me go. I'm too broken. I'm too messed up. Friends, I'm here to tell you, most of them that's walking in deception, they know they're broken. They know they're messed up. I'll go as far as to say that is sometimes the reason why they leave you. They believe that they are doing you a favor. They're trying to save you from them. Here's the point of my story. So many times in these comments on my videos, I keep hearing, but they're doing this, but they're doing this. Okay. Agape love says, I'll love you no matter what. I'll love you no matter what. Friends, if you are in a battle like this, if you are battling, if you truly believe that God is going to restore your marriage, if you truly believe that God is going to deliver your spouse from the demonic spirits that is attached to them, I don't care if they're living with another woman. I don't care if they've had multiple affairs. I don't care. Only you know what God has placed inside of you. If that is you, you must allow the Lord to work inside of you as well. You must allow him to teach you what true love really is. True love does not leave. True love does not judge and condemn. True love is not contingent on the way they love you back. When you say you love someone, that's it. There's no buts with I love you. I love you, but if you do this, this, and this, then I don't love you anymore. That's not true love. That's more lust than anything. I pray that this story helps you today. And I'm going to start sharing more of the raw and painful stories that we went through, because this testimony belongs to God, all of it. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And friends, I'm here to tell you there was some ugly things in this testimony. God once said to me, Shauna, restoration is messy. Restoration is messy, my friends. But once you get to the mountaintop of restoration, once you get to the victory, to the promise, I'm telling you, it's beautiful. It's beautiful at the top of the mountain.